Good evening and welcome. You're watching the 7 o'clock news on CNC3. I'm Ria Rambley.
I'm Ryan Beachu.
I'm Joe Van Ravello with sport.
And I'm Jamal Prasad with your weather.
Let's tell you what's making the news tonight. TNT Chamber warns prices could climb in Tobago as cargo backlog drives up business costs.
The police commissioner is asked for a full report on the purchase of body cameras under a former top cop. Gary Griffith calls it a feeble attempt to discredit him.
19 serious crimes recorded during the Carnival period. TTPS credits police work for a significant reduction.
In sport, West Indies women short 10 runs as Sri Lanka takes the lead in one-day international series.
Thick Saharan dust returns on Sunday. I'll have the details in tonight's weather report.
5 weeks without the Cabo Star has left Tobago businesses struggling to get supplies across the sea bridge.
The replacement vessel, the Blue Wave Harmony, is still not fully in service, and the TNT Chamber is tonight warning that the delays are costing them money they may soon have to pass on to consumers.
Tonight, even the Chief Secretary admits the impact is being felt, specifically in the construction sector. Stefan Nicholas reports.
Tobago businesses are warning of an ongoing cargo shortage following the disruption on the sea bridge. It's been 5 weeks since the Cabo Star left our shores, but its replacement, the MV Blue Wave Harmony, is yet to begin full service. Chief Secretary Farley Augustine confirmed the blow to the island today, saying the construction industry is suffering. He says the delays remain a concern for the THA and is expecting an update from Minister Julian John later today. Farley says he met with his team at Study Park Enterprises Limited and they confirmed some delay in getting bitumen from Trinidad. A hardware worker on the island tells CNC3 News they have been losing $15,000 daily since January 12th, when the Cabo Star left service. Meanwhile, hoteliers say they have had to revise menus based on goods available.
I can't run a business in Tobago with this kind of thing. We need different products like lamb and all of that, and we can't get it in Tobago. You need cheese, you catching your tails to get it. So there's a lot of items that are just not available, and I'm sure if you go into the groceries, you're going to see the same thing.
Early on Friday, the Chamber of Industry and Commerce issued a statement warning of serious operational challenges, including truck turnaround times of up to 52 hours and reduced sailing frequencies. It says these delays are hitting the bottom line hard, adding that immobilized trucks are killing productivity and forcing higher fuel consumption. There is also a growing risk of spoilage for perishable goods due to inadequate refrigeration handling. The Chamber is now pleading with government for a meeting, warning that there is a tremendous pressure on businesses to maintain current consumer prices. After repairing recent damage to the hull, the Port Authority says the Blue Wave Harmony resumed sailings on February 10th. It says the boat is carrying cargo during sea trials and is supported by 3 passenger vessels. The authority insists no cargo has remained at the port during a scheduled sailing. However, the THTA wants the authorities to do better as guests on the island want the service they've paid for.
Any message for the authorities? They need to shape up and get out because they're not doing such a good job right now.
While hotel guests have had to curb their palates, one Tobago hardware official has simpler needs. She asked, why should Tobago have to do without bread and water? Stefan Nicholas, CNC3 News.
Get ready to pay a lot more for eggs in Tobago. Egg prices at the Tobago House of Assembly Farms are set to more than double next month.
The Division of Food Security announced today that the price for a dozen eggs will jump from $7 to $15 effective March 2nd. This marks the first price adjustment since 2005. Officials say the hike is necessary to cover rising production costs, including feed and other farm supplies. The move also brings THA prices in line with the current market, addressing years of complaints from private farmers who argued the heavily subsidized $7 price unfairly undermined their businesses. Despite the increase, the division says it remains committed to the long-term sustainability of Tobago's agricultural sector.
The police commissioner has been asked for a report on the procurement of 750 body cameras by former top cop Gary Griffith.
Alistair Guevara says the deal, which he had to cancel, cost the state approximately $100 million.
But Griffith is tonight pushing back, calling it an attempt to smear his name. Jensen Levent has more.
Police Commissioner Alyssa Guevara says he's finalizing a report into the cancelled contract for 1,000 body cameras. This was requested by Homeland Security Minister Roger Alexander. At Friday's post-Carnival briefing, Guevara revealed the deal signed under former Commissioner Gary Griffith was scrapped because of cost. He says each unit would have averaged $34,000 tied to a GPS contract that left taxpayers paying $100 million.
So the average cost of each one of those body cameras ended up being how much, Mr. Levin? Do the mathematics. $34,000 per unit. That's just one aspect. The body camera contract was interwoven with a GPS contract that already existed in the TTPS. And between last year and this year, I've been called upon to pay $100 million for that contract.
Guevara says the procurement was not fiscally responsible and action will follow.
What I can tell you is that following the initial article that appeared on The Guardian, the Minister of Homeland Security contacted me and instructed me to supply him with a report, which is being done at this point in time.
And how soon before that report is completed and handed over to the
I wouldn't be able to tell you that at this point in time.
Did he give a timeline as to
No, he did not give me a timeline, but it will be soon.
Griffith quickly fired back, calling the report another attempt to tarnish his name.
What are you asking for a report for? You're not a police officer. If there was a matter of questionable activity, you will think that after 6 years, after 4 police commissioners after me, somebody would have been arrested, somebody would have been charged, some name would be called. But this is identical to the lies and about the firearms. Remember the firearm audit, where all of these different lies and accusations about a massive, well-oiled criminal enterprise and persons who were paying for firearms illegally.
Griffith challenged Guevara to produce any evidence he has about improper procurement of the body cameras. He says the police service was contracted to pay an unidentified company a monthly fee of $400,000 to process some 600,000 hours of footage. But according to Guevara, there was no need for this.
Well, I wasn't sitting here at the time, so you need to ask that where it's supposed to go.
But now that you're in the seat and you have the information.
With me, I would not sign a contract to burden the taxpayers with that hefty fee, knowing that I have the expertise in-house.
Guevara says he wore the body camera during Carnival operations to lead his officers by example. Griffith commends Guevara for doing so. As for when the TTPS will expand beyond its current 180 cameras, Guevara says samples are being tested and more devices should arrive soon, without what he refers to as the burden of a multi-million-dollar licensing fee.
And we have begun to get samples where persons would tell us, well, listen, this is something that could work for you, but what we are looking for is something that we can administrate ourselves. Because it makes no sense I pay $3.4 million for 750 cameras, and then over the next how much years I pay a couple $1 million for the licensing.
Guevara notes that the process began with his predecessor earlier here with Christopher. However, that contract was cancelled last year. Jensen Lavend, CNC3 News.
A month after Joshua Samaru was killed by officers, the police commissioner says the matter is still under investigation. Samaru was shot multiple times following a high-speed chase on January 20th, during which police claimed he fired first. Asked if there was an update on the investigation, Commissioner Guevara says the matter is ongoing.
That is an ongoing investigation that we would not wish to comment on. The only thing that I can share with you is that the investigators would have had an initial meeting with the Director of Public Prosecutions.
The shooting of Samaru and Kaya Seeley sparked public outcry and several calls were made for Guevara's resignation.
And the police commissioner is also choosing not to answer questions on his decision to use the controversial Punisher emblem on his uniform. During the post-Carnival media briefing today, he was asked more than once about the badge, each time choosing not to answer. The Punisher is a comic character known for enacting vigilante justice on those he deems deserving. Activist Omar Abdullah has called for him to be disciplined for wearing the patch on his official uniform, but Guevara claims the situation is a non-issue.
Is it that you have done away with it? You won't be wearing it anymore?
That is your opinion, and you have expressed your opinion, and I take your opinion. Let's move on.
All right, so will you be wearing the badge going forward?
Next question, please.
Abdullah says he has sent a pre-action protocol letter to the Police Service Commission on this matter.
Well, still to come in the news, Prime Minister brushes off raider controversy, insisting that only critics are steering fair.
It might sound like parlor economics, but we took a decision at the board to not sell gas below our acquisition costs.
The NGC chairman breaks his silence on rising gas prices, defending the decision.
Coming up in sport, West Indies captain Shea Hope says clarity is key to regional side's T20 World Cup run.
Okay, let me see you, Cherry Hill. Yeah, now take it back. Let me see you rock off, shake off. Let me see you rock off. Let me see you kick right. Now step forward, now step back.
Lucozade, bring the energy. Unbeatable taste, new look.
Shake off. Let me see you rock off.
The police service recorded 19 serious crimes during the Carnival period, a significant reduction in the last 6 years.
Gold Commander for Carnival, DCP Suzette Martin, says the 19 reported incidents include 2 fatal accidents and 1 gun seized. During the Carnival weekend, into Carnival Monday and Tuesday, there were 2 murders, 1 occurring during Carnival activities. Martin says 56 serious crimes were reported in 2023, 53 in 2024, and the figure jumped to 62 last year. ACP Gavin Henry says it was more than police work that reduced those figures, but says they needed the time to analyze the data.
I am not a statistician or criminologist, but there may be other factors, right? And this is still being assessed and analyzed by our by our CAPA department, right? Again, to venture into guessing, I do not want to mislead the public, but I can verify. But rest assured that diligent police work and leadership by the Gold Commander and the Commissioner is an important part of us realizing these figures.
Martin says the full breakdown of the offences reported during Carnival will be provided at a later date.
On Thursday, Defence Minister Wayne Sturge said this year's Carnival was one of the safest in recent years.
Police say they're stepping up patrols in East Port of Spain, but residents tonight remain on edge.
Fears of gang violence continue to grip the area after a deadly shooting at the Mango Rose housing complex. Shane Superville returned to the community for this story.
Police are promising a tough response to organized crime even as fears grow of renewed gang violence in the city. On Tuesday, 33-year-old Dwayne Simon was gunned down at the Mango Rose housing complex in East Port of Spain. His uncle and another man were wounded. Simon is the 3rd person killed in the area this year after Ricky Taylor on George Street and Hakim O'Brien on Duncan Street. Police Commissioner Alistair Guevara says officers remain in control despite the end of the state of emergency.
But just know that we are prepared to respond to any upsurge in gang violence or any hotspot area violence that occurs.
ACP Northwest Gavin Henry assures that officers of the Port of Spain Division are working to ensure there's no retaliation.
Right, but we are prepared to deal with it because we have, one, heightened our presence and operations in that particular area with that very thing in mind, retaliation.
But East Port of Spain resident says it's not a matter of if, but when the killings happen. When CNC3 News returned to the Mango Rose housing complex on Friday, large bullet holes were seen on the walls of the buildings where Dwayne Simon and others stood. One resident says he narrowly escaped the gunman's line of fire.
Because I was right here when I talked to the uncle, I bent the building I did, and I went and finished my work in front. If I just stay and buy that cigarette from the uncle, I would have lied down there too. Sure about that.
And with the streets now unusually quiet, the resident says the fear of further bloodshed is keeping many people inside.
I must be afraid. They don't know if they could come back. They could come back again. They could come back again and nobody do nothing. They don't know who passing on an Alavante car.
For now, the residents hope that the promise of police protection and simply staying out of sight will be enough to keep them safe. Shane Superville, CNC3 News.
It's been a week since a tragic double murder at Jade Court Play Park in Couva, and still no suspect has been arrested.
However, residents say the community is returning to normal. Children are once again playing on the field, and residents are going about their daily routines, but the memories of that afternoon still linger. Last Friday, a gunman exited a vehicle and opened fire, chasing and killing Devon Toussaint and his ex-girlfriend Amelia Hernandez in front of their 3-year-old child. The killings took place just a foot away from other children who were playing in the park. President of the Couva Police Station Community Council, Bishop Ezekiel Clark, says residents received counseling from the TTPS Victim and Witness Support Unit over the weekend, and plans are underway to establish a neighborhood watch group. He says a peace concert, an initiative of former Calypso monarch Brian London, will be held at the park on Sunday, with 2026 Calypso monarch Terry Lyons among the performers, hoping to spread a message of love and peace throughout the area.
A dating app meetup turns violent. Police arrested a 20-year-old man after a violent robbery last evening. Around 6:30, a man met someone he had connected with on a dating app near the 3rd Avenue and Eastern Main Road in Barataria. They walked toward Mission Road Extension, where 2 other men were waiting. The group announced a robbery. One suspect pulled a gun. The victim was beaten, shoved against a fence, and robbed of 2 cell phones and nearly $2,000 in cash. The suspects ran off. San Juan officers responded quickly and spotted a man matching the description of one of the suspects. He was arrested and taken to the police station. Police say the search for the other 2 men continues. They're also warning the public to be cautious when meeting people through online platforms.
Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar is dismissing concerns surrounding the U.S.-supplied radar in Tobago, saying only the opposition PNM, drug traffickers and violent gangs are obsessed with the issue. In a WhatsApp message to CNC3 News, Persad-Bissessar says law-abiding citizens have no difficulty with an American military presence. During yesterday's post-cabinet briefing, Defense Minister Wayne Sturge refused to disclose the number of U.S. personnel here. He also challenged whether citizens have a right to know, framing the arrangement as a security partnership to fight narco-trafficking, not a threat to sovereignty. Regional security expert Dr. Garvin Hira explains, while classified details must remain protected, government has a parallel responsibility to maintain public confidence. Meanwhile, criminologist Dr. Randy C. Prasad adds that U.S. personnel could be here for legitimate reasons, but without clarity, he says it's difficult to judge the need for transparency. Meanwhile, opposition leader Penelope Beckles insists that the public absolutely and definitely has a right to know about the presence of foreign troops on local soil.
In a statement to CNC3 News, Beckles accused the defense minister of adopting what she describes as a contemptuous and arrogant dismissal of legitimate questions about U.S. military involvement in Tobago. She further alleges that government's handling of the matter reflects authoritarian tendencies and undermines democratic accountability. While acknowledging that certain operational details may require discretion, Beckles argues that secrecy erodes public trust and compromises national sovereignty.
As you just heard, yesterday the defense minister refused to indicate the number of U.S. troops in this country, stating it was not in the public's interest. Tonight we ask whether this information should be disclosed to the public.
And this is what you had to tell us.
The People Say, brought to you by Excel Health TT, the official supplement of the CPL.
Yes, the public have a right to know.
Why?
So we could have a better understanding of what's going on and what coming in and out of the country.
That should be held secret, because if they are about doing anything to curb, they're not supposed to disclose what they are going to do.
No, I don't think so. That is part of our external and internal security, and that deals with national security. So I don't think you should expose that as to what our backup are or what our internal coverage is, because if anything is to happen, we will already sell ourselves out.
Yes, ma'am.
Why?
Because it is important that the people know exactly what it is going on in the country. So we are abreast of what is happening. So we know what to do, how to, in case anything happens, we know how to approach the situation.
For me, Trinidad and Tobago have a right to know everything that goes on in Trinidad and Tobago because we are the citizens. We are not outsiders, so we're supposed to know what's going on in our country. All right? And I find them not telling us anything, and I'm concerned because I have children, I have grandchildren.
The People Say, brought to you by Excel Health TT, the official supplement of the CPL.
The National Gas Company is defending its position to increase the price of natural gas despite strong objections from the business community that this would negatively affect every sector of the economy.
And in other business news, the Greater San Fernando Chamber of Commerce shares how Carnival impacted the city's commercial activities.
Keisha Kaulesa Alonso has the details in tonight's Business Watch.
Chairman of the National Gas Company, Gerald Ramdin, is standing by the company's decision to increase the price of natural gas, saying it could not be sold below its acquisition cost.
It might sound like parlor economics, but we took a decision at the board to not sell gas below our acquisition costs. And it was in the execution of that decision by the board of the NGC that the commercial teams at the NGC had to negotiate with the LIC customers to charge a realistic price of gas. The price of gas to the LICs that was being offered before this present board was there, what we met when we came in, was a situation where the gas price that was being offered to the LIC was highly subsidized.
The increase in natural gas price is already being felt by consumers, including Trinidad Cement Limited, which has since announced a rise in the price of cement. Ramdin was speaking following Friday's signing of completed negotiations with upstream producer Perenco to renew sales contracts for the supply of gas from 2 offshore blocks. Asked about how much gas is going to be produced from these 2 fields, he said he could not disclose specifics due to confidentiality clauses. In other business news, as various business chambers continue their post-Carnival analysis, President of the Greater San Fernando Area Chamber of Commerce, Kiran Singh, shared with the Business Watch how the festivities impacted commerce in the southern city.
There was a slight uptick in retail activity in the last few days leading up to Carnival Monday and Tuesday in downtown San Fernando, which was good for business, of course. And we enjoyed a relatively safe Carnival. I don't think we heard of any serious incidents or petty crime affecting the revelers in the southern city.
However, Singh said Juve revelers who invested their time and money into the celebrations were left disappointed.
There were a large number of revelers on Juve morning, but we understand that the midnight mass was cut short early through an instruction from the TTPS, and that left many band leaders and, of course, revelers surprised.
Singh says he hopes this does not occur next year, advising there be proper planning and better communication from the TTPS. And now for a look at today's energy and forex prices. Geisha Kaulesa Alonso, CNC3 Business Watch.
Here's what's still to come in the news tonight. This year's President's Medal winner from Bishop Anstey and Trinity College East shares her secret to success.
We had brisk showers throughout the course of the day, which eased a bit by this evening. I'll have the details on the dust and the hazardous seas alerts coming up just after the break.
The road starts early. You can't wait for nobody. Long road ahead, but you're ready for it. Pick up your Astamin. Energy to move. Juve is not play. Once you start, you can't stop. Road ready, body liming, spirit high. Astamin helps support your energy when you're on the road from early. Jump up, stay up. This Carnival with Astamin. Available at pharmacies nationwide.
cherished moments echo on for generations. For all the moments I value, Quartz has and will always be my store. Quartz, bringing value home.
Mom, Dad, this is Trevor.
Hi. He's no Kieran. Back up.
Swing? That's why he crossed the road.
It was funny when Kieran said it.
Ooh, who could that be?
We're like the parents who don't miss your ex.
I can't believe Kieran is in the neighborhood.
CG United. Good like that.
Folks, take a look at all these medical conditions. What does it have in common? This, ITIS. But what does ITIS really mean?
The suffix itis denotes inflammation of a specified organ or tissue.
ITIS really means inflammation. How do we combat chronic inflammation? Through lifestyle changes. Then, and only then, make sure you're getting enough omega-3 fatty acids.
Always consult a qualified medical professional before starting any supplements.
Police in central Trinidad have seized what appears to be a large quantity of high-grade marijuana. Around 2 p.m. today, officers from the Central Division, Gang and Intelligence Unit, acting on a tip-off, moved into Riverside Marina on Kakandi Road, Felicity.
They found a white Kia truck parked between two vessels, its tray covered with a tarpaulin. Inside were several crocus bags packed with what police believe is a Colombian cannabis known as creepy.
One suspect was detained and the drugs were seized. The exact weight and street value are still to be confirmed.
Investigations are continuing as police work to track down others linked to the shipment. The Coast Guard is officially saying goodbye to seaman Kyron Simon 1 year after he went missing at sea. Simon was part of an operation between TNT and Grenada when the Coast Guard intercepted a semi-submersible which began filling with water, trapping him inside and sinking. His body was never recovered. He was honored by his family as a proud father of 3 children and a lover of life, Carnival, and God, while his fellow sailors hailed him as the ultimate Coast Guardsman who carried himself with pride everywhere he went. One of his relatives said on social media the family is still searching for truth, hoping for action and praying for closure.
Time for the weather forecast, John Mark. It's been 3 days of rain in the morning. Yep. I'm looking forward to it being 4 days of rain.
Well, might I add that this has been the longest short week ever.
That's true.
We are going to get some showers over the weekend, but we also have that significant Saharan dust plume coming across the Atlantic. So let's see how it's shaping up on the satellite. Not much change on here since yesterday, but we do still have those patches moving through, and I am seeing some evidence of some stronger winds accompanying those showers. Even our neighbors to the north in Grenada actually recorded some gusts near 50 kilometers per hour this afternoon. So for the brisk showers that are expected this weekend, look out for the possibility of those gusty winds. And of course, the most prominent feature on the satellite today, the Saharan dust plume, which is this large brown area, and that will negatively affect our air quality from Sunday, as we'll have possibly unhealthy levels into Monday, and that is represented by this orange color here moving towards us. Now, the thickest part of the plume is expected to pass south of us and mainly affect the South American countries. Now, I also looked further ahead, and the dust will drop to moderate levels by Tuesday, but linger for the entire week until about Friday. So for all those who are sensitive to the change in air quality, should take the necessary precautions, such as reducing your time outdoors, wearing a mask, and even stocking up on medication approved by your physician. Also remember that we have the yellow level hazardous seas alert in effect until 6 p.m. tomorrow for all north-facing coastlines of Trinidad and Tobago. Now, the Met Office updated the alert today to indicate that large battering waves have been observed, especially at high tide times over in Tobago. As a result, all marine interests should exercise caution, especially in the near-shore areas. Otherwise, waves in open waters can get up to 2.5 meters, which is just below rough, and up to 1 meter in sheltered areas, occasionally choppy. Now, it's still breezy out there with winds out of the east-northeast at 15 to 20 knots, gusting to 30 at times. Now, the forecast for tonight, generally fair conditions, but we'll get some isolated showers, most likely over eastern areas. Overnight lows of 23 in Trinidad and 24 in Tobago. Tomorrow, the brisk showers will continue during the course of the day with a slightly lower chance during the morning period. Otherwise, conditions should be mostly sunny and breezy with the possibility of the odd gust near those showers. Looking ahead, brisk showers over the weekend, but remember the dust is expected to move in late on Sunday. Next week is shaping up to be mostly dry, dusty, and breezy. Also, sea conditions may not be the best either over the next few days, with the alert in effect and choppy conditions at times with those breezy conditions. So we have a lot of hazardous things going on, the seas and the dust as well. I know I will be stocking up on some medication and running my air purifier 24/7.
It's going to be that bad.
Yes, it's going to be very thick. It may be the thickest dust event of the year so far.
Wow. Okay, thank you so much, John Mark. Let's tell you what's still to come in the news.
Crossing the stage was, you just hear crossing the stage, but it was so much more than that.
Young woman diagnosed with rare genetic disorder fulfills lifelong dream of crossing the Savannah stage. Tonight we hear her story of endurance.
Folks, take a look at all these medical conditions. What does it have in common? This, ITIS. But what does ITIS really mean?
The suffix itis denotes inflammation of a specified organ or tissue.
ITIS really means inflammation. How do we combat chronic inflammation? Through lifestyle changes. Then, and only then, make sure you're getting enough omega-3 fatty acids.
Always consult a qualified medical professional before starting any supplements.
Visit Tire Clinic Marketing, New Truck and OTR Tire Service Center at number 30 and 32 Montrose Main Road, Chaguanas. Call today at 665-8973 or 672-3419. Alignment services available. Tire Clinic Marketing, Truck and OTR Service Center. A tire for every need.
Struggling with blood sugar swings, high blood pressure, or stiff joints? Take control with Aja Nutrition's powerful wellness trio. Berberine Plus supports healthy blood sugar. Blood pressure support helps keep your pressure in check. And Joint Aid keeps your joints moving so you can stay active every day. Don't wait. Choose Aja Nutrition for trusted, effective solutions. Available at Pennywise and leading pharmacies nationwide. Feel better, move better, live better with Aja Nutrition.
Trinidad and Tobago's frontline public health systems is set to receive a $6 million boost from Washington over the next 2 years.
A statement from the U.S. Embassy today explains that the funds will be used to stop health threats before they reach either country's shores. The investment comes as U.S. HIV/AIDS support under the U.S. President's Emergency Plan for AIDS Relief enters a planned 2-year drawdown. The funding will support disease surveillance, lab upgrades, workforce training, and continued HIV prevention and treatment efforts. The funding was announced by the U.S. Charter Fair and the Center for Disease Control and Prevention's Caribbean office when they met with Health Minister Dr. Lakram Bodo earlier this month.
Well, hard work has paid off in a big way for 19-year-old Aliyah Surratt, the winner of the 2026 President's Medal. The Bishop Anstey and Trinity College East student is one of 2 top performers recognized for excellence in the recent CAPE examinations. During a celebration at her school this morning, Surratt reflected on her journey and offered this advice to fellow students.
Yes, you work hard, but don't push yourself beyond your limits. Don't compare how much you're doing to how much other people are doing, because I honestly didn't do much in school compared to other students, but them along with myself, we all succeeded.
And as the school celebrates its 25th anniversary, Surratt's mother says, while schools and teachers may do their best, parents play the most important role by providing strong, consistent support at home.
Be there, encourage. I didn't put any pressure on Aliyah at all, right? So just be there for them, listen, support, 100%.
Well, Education Minister Dr. Michael Dowlett was invited but did not attend. Instead, a representative from the ministry was present. Congratulations to Aaliyah.
A golden performance from Aaliyah there. And also, we have coming up in sport, Jovan, Nicholas Paul is also hunting another gold medal.
That's right, Ryan. The Karen gold medalist qualifies fastest in men's sprint at the Pan Am Elite Track Cycling Championships. And it's the first major sporting weekend of the new year. Find out where to go and what to do in tonight's Sport Wrap.
Dress like you mean business. At The Working Woman, we bring you stylish, professional looks made for the modern woman. From casual to formal workwear, we've got your professional wardrobe covered.
The moment my children came into my life, I do everything I can for them to live healthy, enjoyable lives. Nature's Ways Alive Kids Gummies are multivitamin gummies meant to support the development of children's bodies. They come in delicious fruit flavors and contain natural plant-based pectin. This means that if I'm looking for an alternative to animal-based gelatin for personal reasons, they are the best choice for my little ones. Choose Alive Kids Gummies by Nature's Way for your children because they deserve it.
Welcome back. It's time for sport. The West Indies versus Sri Lanka Women's Series got off to an exciting start today with the visitors winning the first ODI by 10 runs in St. George's. Ian Wason explains how the Windies women came out of certain defeat midway through the innings before falling just short in the end.
Sri Lanka was sent into bat at West Indies asking and got a 49-run partnership from Hasini Pereira and skipper Shamari Athapattu. Together, the two women stroked the ball with efficiency. Skipper to skipper, Hayley Matthews got the breakthrough. Athapattu caught by Karishma Ramarak. Sri Lanka then got a boost when Harshitha Samara Wickrama joined Pereira, and together they put on 86 for the second wicket. It ended with the wicket of Pereira, Alia Allen with the scalp, Matthews the catcher. Both teams exchanged punches, with Sri Lanka counting the runs as they went along, and West Indies getting the wickets at intervals, starting with Samara Wickrama for 66 at 185 for 3, Ramarak the bowler, and Nilashika Silva for 22 without a change to the score. Late efforts from Kavisha Delari, who made 22, and Vishmi Gunaratne, who made 60 not out, helped Sri Lanka to 240 for 6 from their 50 overs. Hayley Matthews and Karishma Ramarak took 2 wickets each. West Indies made a bright start with openers Hayley Matthews and Kiana Joseph hitting boundaries, but they dimmed quickly. Both batters were dismissed within 2 runs. They both made 13. Stephanie Taylor and Shemaine Campbell took them to 49 before Campbell was out for 12.
Leading edge though.
And Chanel Henry caught for 1 and West Indies slumped to 55 for 4. Veteran Deandra Dutton joined Taylor and the two experienced players brought hope back into the camp. But Dutton was caught for 15 at 80 for 5. With the home team staring down a barrel, Janelia Glasgow rescued the ladies with a good innings. With Taylor, they stitched a strong partnership of 89. But Taylor's long fighting innings ended on 66 with the score on 182 for 7. Still 71 runs away with 64 balls in hand. Shonisha Hector made 12 and she was out on 198 for 8 with West Indies 43 runs away. A 32-run partnership between Ali Allen and Afi Fletcher brought West Indies back into the hunt, and they needed 10 in the last over. But Delari returned to break the home team's hearts. 2 wickets, back-to-back balls, all out for 230. So close, but yet so far. The second match is on Sunday. Ian Wason, CNC3 Sport.
Thanks, Ian. Sticking with the West Indies captain Shea Hope isn't taking anything for granted as the Windies turns its attention to the Super 8 stage of the 2026 ICC T20 World Cup. Asked whether the team has adjusted its preparations ahead of Monday's match against Zimbabwe, Hope said it was execution that would matter the most.
We got to plan for whoever's in front of us. If it was Namibia, if it was whoever, we got to ensure that we're doing what's necessary to be ready for the opposition. Having the experience of playing in Wankhede would give us a bit more confidence as a team to know what works more so than what doesn't. But again, cricket plays on a day, so we could plan as much as we want. We can have everything in check off the field, but the execution always matters when you go out there and cross the line.
The Windies finished group play with 4 wins from 4 matches and is one of 4 unbeaten teams gathered in the Super 8 Group 1. He says the team's run into the tournament has been the result of a clear demarcation of roles and responsibilities throughout the squad.
When you come into a World Cup, you don't want to be playing catch-up, especially when you got to basically hit the ground running, especially when you're playing against some of the better teams in the world. There's not like a bilateral series where you could come back after a couple of losses and win the series 3-2. So clarity was one of the biggest things that we focused on in preparation, and making sure every single player, whether the 11 on the day or even the ones on the bench, because we're trying to make sure we have a player fit for each role that we need to execute out there in the middle. We put different players into different roles to see what's the best or how best we can get their maximum skill set and ability from that particular player.
Elsewhere, Australia signed off their World Cup campaign with a 9-wicket win over Oman in a dead rubber at Palekele today. More from Ian Wilson.
With both teams already on their way out of the tournament, they were simply playing for pride. Oman batted first at Australia's request, and the very first ball lost Amir Kaleem. The Asian team was fighting back with a few well-picked shots as Jatinder Singh tried his best, smacking 3 fours. But the Aussies' experience and talent were too much for their associate nation peers, as Australia took wickets at frequent intervals. Singh made 17 and Hamad Mirza made 16 and were dismissed at 39 for 3 and 59 for 4. They had a few partnerships and good starts. Wazim Ali top scored with 32, which included 4 fours. But he continued to lose partners. Mohammed Nadeem for 2. Vinayat Sulka for 9 and Jaitin Ramandani for 1, as they were reduced to 89 for 7. Wazim was standing alone, but was certainly going down fighting. He was finally out with a score on 100 for 8, as Oman were bowled out for 104 in 16.2 overs. The Australians wanted to make a statement with their final innings before making their departure for home prematurely. Mitchell Marsh was relentless with 4 sixes and 7 fours in his 64 from 33 balls, and Travis Head was productive with a 19-ball 32 that included 6 fours. Their experience continued to show despite their disappointment of missing the Super 8. Their only blemish was the wicket of Head with a score on 93, but it didn't matter much as Australia got to 108 for 1 in 9.4 overs to bow out of the 2026 tournament on a winning note by 9 wickets. Super 8 Group 1 includes defending champions India and West Indies, who are both joint record winners with 2 wins apiece. 2024 finalists South Africa and Zimbabwe continue their pursuit of maiden titles. Group 2 features the tournament's other 2 winners, England and New Zealand, 2009 champions Pakistan and hosts and 2014 winner Sri Lanka. The Super 8 will begin on Saturday with Pakistan entertaining New Zealand. West Indies don't get into action until Monday when they play Zimbabwe at Wankhede. Ian Wilson, CNC3 Sport.
Nicholas Paul and Josein Phillip topped sprint qualifying on a busy day for Team TTO at the Pan American Elite Track Cycling Championships. Here's more. Fresh from topping the podium on Thursday, Nicholas Paul qualified fastest in the men's sprint event in a time of 9.400 seconds. He was one of 2 Team TTO sprinters in the top 3. Josein Phillip, 4th in yesterday's Keirin final, qualified 3rd best in 9.580. Kwesi Brown was 12th in qualifying in 9.884. A man of few words, Paul summed up his feelings after Thursday's gold medal triumph.
I feel really great to win the Keirin this year. I mean, I worked very hard building up to this, so it's a pleasure coming to Chile and being able to win the Keirin.
This country's first gold medalist in Chile, Tennille Campbell, started an Omnium program this morning, finishing 5th in the scratch race. Campbell returned to the track for the second Omnium event and won the first 10 of 36 sprints to finish 8th after the 40-lap 10-kilometer event. In the third Omnium race, the elimination, Campbell finished 7th in a field of 12. Jadian Neves rode a national record 4 minutes 21.726 seconds in the men's 4,000-meter individual pursuit, erasing Varun Mirage's 12-year record of 4 minutes 31.944. Liam Trepte finished 14th in 4 minutes 35.614. Both athletes were part of Team TTO's Team Pursuit Quartet, which broke the national record in the event at these championships, but took no further part in the individual pursuit. Another of the endurance riding cohort, Tariq Woods, gave it his all in the men's point race, but did not finish. He was ranked 13th. Now it's time for our crystal ball into this weekend in sport. After a 10-run defeat earlier today, the West Indies women look to pick themselves up in the second of 3 one-day internationals against Sri Lanka's women on Sunday at the National Cricket Stadium in St. George's, Grenada. First ball is at 9:30 a.m. The Trinidad and Tobago Cricket Board's Under-15 Reserve League final is also carded for this weekend, Saturday at the National Cricket Centre in Balmain, Couva. So take this opportunity to go see the next generation of national cricketers in action. The Courts All Sectors Netball League also resumes this weekend at the Eastern Regional Sporting Complex in Tacarigua, with matches in the Championship, Premiership, Alternative and Men's divisions. Matches run from 11 a.m. to 7:30 p.m, so take your pick and go show your support. After a Carnival break, the TNT Premier Football League resumed this evening and will continue tomorrow with a doubleheader at the Ken Cook Ground. FC Eagles plays Lahokota Rangers at 6 p.m, followed by Police FC versus Point Fortin Civic at 8 p.m. On Sunday at the Larry Gomes Stadium, Central FC and Prison Service clash from 4 p.m, while at the Mani Ramjan Stadium, Sawa Jablate meets the high-flying Club Sando at the same time. The Intercol Nostalgia Tournament brings the best former SSFL stars back together for a full day of reminiscing on the pitch. That exhibition of evergreen talent is scheduled from 9:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. on Saturday. And the Blackpool Sports Club will host its 35th annual Old Boys Cecil Rajay Joseph Memorial Football match at the Aranguez Savannah on Sunday. It's a full weekend of aftermath sporting action all weekend long, so go out and make the best of it. A big result in Jamaica and the region's return to the slopes in Milan feature in Sport Round the Region. Harborview FC is now just 3 points away from safety after a crucial 1-0 win over CONCACAF Caribbean Cup champions Mount Pleasant Football Academy. The winning goal came in the 14th minute when Mount Pleasant gave away a penalty against the league's 13th best team. Captain Trayvon Reed successfully converted for his 10th of the season as they held on for the 4th win of this term. With the W, Harborview is now on 19 points, a win away from catching 12th place Treasure Beach. After the match, the Harborview head coach was elated that his men finally got it right.
Very good match. The last interview that I did, things I spoke about in the team that we were lacking, I saw most of it today. The fight, that character, that determination, we saw it today. And this is what's going to take us out of the relegations, with some good football to go with it. But the determination and the fight and that will, I saw it in the players today. Meanwhile, Mount Pleasant gaffer Theodore Tapper Whitmore was understandably lost for words.
It's a game that really hard to sum up. I think there's nothing about this game this afternoon to talk about. I must say congrats to the Harborview team. I think they put up a spirited performance, but there's not much I can talk about.
And the Caribbean returns to the Cortina Sliding Centre for Heat 1 of the 4-man bobsleigh final on Saturday. Trinidad and Tobago finished 25th and Jamaica 22nd after 3 runs in the 2-man event earlier this week. Both crews missing out on the 20-team cut for the medal race. Team TTO's sled will be piloted once again by Axel Brown, with DeAndre John, Shaquille John and Zaveri Williams completing its crew. On the Cool Runnings side, Shane Pitter will also take charge of the sled as pilot. Taekwondo Tracy serves as brakeman in a team which also includes Junior Harris and Joel Fearon. And tonight's Sport High comes from the NBA. Enjoy. Sacramento Kings' Maxime Renaud looked to have been run into a corner, but he produced an ingenious finish that left his defender confounded. Shades of Larry Bird for the bucket. An in-game trick shot gets the Frenchman 2 of his 17 and takes tonight's CNC3 Sport High. That's it for sport, guys.
Thank you so much, Jovan. Let's take a break. We'll be right back.
Folks, take a look at all these medical conditions. What does it have in common? this, itis. But what does itis really mean?
The suffix itis denotes inflammation of a specified organ or tissue.
itis really means inflammation. How do we combat chronic inflammation? Through lifestyle changes. Then, and only then, make sure you're getting enough omega-3 fatty acids.
Always consult a qualified medical professional before starting any supplements.
Come, I'm going to take you upstairs. I'm going to fix you up. And when Mr. Hubert come, I'm going to tell him.
Tell me what?
Oh, Miss Pamela only had one drink, sir.
I'll make some coffee. I want to be alone with my wife.
Your wife? That's a good joke.
So you've been telling our business to Myrna?
Watch TNT's hit soap opera, Westwood Park, Saturdays at 7:30 p.m. only on CNC3.
In some regional news, the Dominican Republic is set to become a major regional technology powerhouse as tech giant Google has announced a massive $500 million investment to build a state-of-the-art digital gateway connecting the island directly to the United States. Construction is set to begin this March on a new international digital exchange port and a series of high-capacity submarine cables. This project, Google's first of its kind in the region, will multiply the country's data capacity and drastically reduce internet latency. President Luis Abineda says the move places the DR at the center of information exchange for the Americas. The project will connect directly to Google Cloud regions in South Carolina and Virginia, providing the first international submarine cable ring of its kind for the country.
Internationally, it's a decision reverberating through the global economy and a blow to U.S. President Donald Trump's economic agenda and foreign policy.
The Supreme Court has ruled that Trump's sweeping global tariffs are illegal.
In the most significant case involving the U.S. economy to reach the justices in decades, the Supreme Court ruled that President Donald Trump violated federal law when he unilaterally imposed sweeping tariffs around the globe. The 6-3 majority opinion written by Chief Justice John Roberts emphasized that the power to enact such tariffs must be clearly granted by Congress, and the emergency authority Trump attempted to rely on falls short. The decision delivering a blow to Trump's second-term economic agenda and foreign policy.
This was an important case to me, more as a symbol of economic national security.
Experts noting the court only struck down one avenue for Trump's tariff plans.
We shouldn't think that the topic of tariffs is now going away somehow, even beyond potential lawsuits, because the president has any number of other ways that he can continue to try and push for tariffs and impact, levies. So we'll be watching for that.
For consumers, immediate relief from the decision is unlikely, economists say, because the court did not give any guidance on what should happen to the tariff revenue already collected.
Even if refunds are ultimately issued, they're not going to be issued to consumers. They're going to be issued to firms. And then you're depending on firms ultimately passing those back to the consumer.
As of December 14th, federal data showed the government had collected $134 billion in revenue from the tariffs that were struck down. In Washington, I'm Karen Gaifa.
From here, we take another short break. Stay with us right here on CNC3.
Alejandro! What are you?
Don't miss the gripping drama Cabo, Sundays at 8 p.m. only on CNC3.
With SEA examinations fast approaching, similar advice for parents to play a more active role in their children's academic journey is coming from acting principal of San Fernando TML Primary.
She spoke at an awards ceremony for students who excelled in the 2025 SEA and CAPE examinations on Ash Wednesday. 19 top SEA students and 5 CAPE National Scholarship winners were awarded as the school celebrated being ranked among the top primary schools nationally. Acting Principal Mohammed Narayan urged parents to remain actively involved in their children's education as she gave some tips.
Working at home with the students on a daily basis, making sure homework is being done, making sure all the materials that the student need for work is there so that the students will be able to perform at his or her maximum. A schedule is important at home so that students, they have a system in place to ensure that every single day that the work that the teachers are asking them to do, it's been done.
Education Ministry School Supervisor Royden Rampersad says the students' success reflects years of discipline, teamwork and strong parental support.
SEA will be held on March 26th.
Calypso legend David Rodder has received one of Rotary's highest honors.
Yesterday, the Rotary Club of Central Port of Spain awarded Rodder during its monthly meeting at the Cascadia Hotel. The recognition celebrates individuals who embody Rotary's motto, service above self. The award ties back to the club's Poor Man's Dinner fundraiser last October, which supported Rotary International's End Polio Now campaign. Rodder himself, a polio survivor, has long used his music to champion awareness and social change. By honoring him, Rotary highlights both his cultural impact and the ongoing fight to eradicate polio worldwide. Rodder thanked the club, saying resilience and service can inspire a nation.
And he has certainly inspired us all as a nation. Right. Let's take another break. We'll be right back.
Walter and I are very worried about you.
Mom, I just had to get away from all that chaos.
By going back there to Sully's, it's a mistake.
Then it's my mistake to make.
I didn't believe it when I heard you were back.
That woman over there, she seems awful full of herself. You know her?
You might say that. How long are you planning on staying this time?
Not sure, Dad.
Celebrity Family Feud is a show I like because I get to meet people that I happen to be fans of. Jack, how you feel, man?
I'm feeling good. Glad to be here. About to bust these guys up.
Ah, come on! Let's get it on!
That's okay.
You got me. Name something you like to do to Steve Harvey while he's sleeping.
Tickle him.
Sex?
Don't miss the gripping drama Cabo. Sundays at 8 p.m. only on CNC3.
Come, I'm going to take you upstairs. I'm going to fix you up. And when Mr. Hubert come, I'm going to tell him.
Tell me what?
Oh, Miss Pamela only had one drink, sir.
I'll make some coffee. I want to be alone with my wife.
Your wife? That's a good joke.
So you've been telling our business to Myrna?
Watch TNT's hit soap opera, Westwood Park, Saturdays at 7:30 p.m. only on CNC3.
It's time to recap our headlines. Chamber warns prices could climb in Tobago as cargo backlog drives up business costs.
The police commissioner is asked for a full report on the purchase of body cameras under a former top cop. Gary Griffith calls it a feeble attempt to discredit him.
In sport, West Indies women short 10 runs as Sri Lanka takes the lead in one-day international series.
And in the weather, hazardous seas until tomorrow evening and thick dust Sunday into Monday.
As we leave you, let's remind you to stay connected with us on our social media platforms.
There you'll find tonight's stories, the latest updates and exclusive content, and don't forget to pick up a copy of the TNT Guardian newspaper.
We've come to the end of the 7 p.m. news here on CNC3. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Maria Rambley.
I'm Ryan Bachu.
I'm Jovan Ravello.
And I'm Jean-Marc Rampersad. Have a good night.